Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite RV trip planning tools, that is RV Trip Wizard. So don't go anywhere. Join us today on Home on the Edge. All right, guys, so this is the RV Trip Wizard website. When you pull it up, we're going to go over here real quick. I'll pull up the features just to give a quick overview. Visual trip planner. You know, if you're like me, you like to kind of see things mapped out. Works great for me. I find it to be very useful and very helpful for me to be able to pull out the map kind of wide and see what's going on. Unbiased information. There you can see pictures and images of all the campgrounds, as well as reviews, customizable to your RV. Over here you see this section. We'll talk about that when we get into the program, but you can add your height and length and weight of the RV, so that works out pretty well. You can choose what types of campgrounds that you want to look for, and all kinds of points of interest as far as national parks, Walmarts, gas stations, everything. It's pretty good, and web-based, so there's no computer to have, or no installation to have on your computer. Right here, understanding the cost of your trip, one of the best features, I think, because it allows me and allows you to be able to look and see what your mileage is, what your cost is, your fuel cost, your lodging cost, once you have all that worked out. And it really gives you a very, very good estimate of what you're going to be spending. And drive times. You can set your drive times. Some people don't want to tow over, 3 or 4 hours a day. Some people want to tow more. You can set that all there. We'll talk about that. So that's just the initial screen that you get when you. So best advice is probably to do the 7-day trial. That way you can get a feel for everything in it. But it is, the best RV trip planner is what it says right here, and I don't think that's too far off. So that's pretty nice. I love it. So all right, we're going to get logged in and go through some of the features right quick. All right, so here we are logged into my dashboard with the RV Trip Wizard. This is what you get when you log in. You have a side panel over here, which is your trip. The current trip that you're working on will show over here. On the right side is where you do your research for parks, points of interest, things of that nature. You can set your filters over here. So initially what we're going to do is, I have this one trip open, and this is our trip coming up in September. We'll talk about that at a later date. So what we're going to do today is start a new trip. You can either do that here, or you can do it up at the top left there. So we're going to go ahead and click that just to do a test trip. So we'll type in test trip. We'll just start it today. That's fine. And click create. So it's going to open it up, and it's going to ask you for a starting location. So let's just select Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we're going to say start here. All right. So it's going to pull up after that the trip settings for whatever you've named your trip. General, if you have any notes here. Trip status is going to be active, tentative, or archived. Just keeps them stored in different categories for you. Pre-departure email. So basically, you'll get emails during your trip or before and right before your trip for each leg of your trip. Pretty decent, pretty good feature. So, not going to add anything there. RV info. Once you set up your RV info for your account, it pretty much stays there. So you'll see what we have set up here. Our height is 11 foot 8 inches, length of 37 foot 8 inches, 9,000 pounds on the weight. That is for the travel trailer. Diesel and how many gallons. So you have to set a like your total fuel capacity is 57 gallons or whatever it may be. I set a 6-gallon reserve. You can set it to anything you want. Basically what this is going to do is when I get down to 51 gallons of diesel fuel, it puts it on alert on the map saying that I need, at this point, I'm going to need to get fuel if I haven't gotten fuel already. And you put in your fuel economy while towing or whatever your motorhome fuel economy is, and whether or not you're carrying propane. Routing and driving, if you can choose whether you just want standard routing or RV routing. I want RV routing. You can avoid anything over here on this side. I've got avoid ferries right now. I have selected to use my average driving speed for driving time estimates of 55 miles an hour. And then this is your average speed, not your speed that you drive on the interstate. This is the average speed of when you start and when you stop. So your average speed is going to be less than what you typically drive on the interstate. And I choose the advanced driving circle. You can kind of get a idea of what that looks like over here. If you choose the classic driving circle, it's just going to be a round circle to give you an estimate on your drive radius for so many hours a day. I use the advanced one, which gives you a more accurate estimation here by streets and curves and all that kind of stuff. Set your driving distance down here. We have a average of 6 hours a day, or you can select a minimum, middle, and maximum distance that you want to do. Expenses, you can set your, once you know your camping expenses per night for a place, you can set that in here. I don't ever set that here because every place is different. You're going to, spend a certain amount per day on meals. You can put it here, miscellaneous expenses, and average cost per gallon of fuel. I go in and enter meals and camping expenses manually. Once I make reservations and I know how much the camping stop is going to be. So make sure that is set correctly. Yes. And save the trip settings. So it'll kind of load the map up at this point. So first thing I'm going to do is close that, both sides. I'm going to open this right side up here. Here are the research pane, and I'm going to go down here and clear all points of interest. Up here, you have buttons all the way across the top for hiding hazards, hiding points of interest, and applying the filters for the campgrounds and showing and hiding parks. So we'll turn all those off for right now. Should end up with a fairly open map. It's going to have your starting location on the map with that green flag. All right, so let's say we're going to start a trip. We're going to quickly go over here to the research. I want to know, I know we're going to say we're going to go out west. The first day we're going to drive, but the first night we're going to stay at a Walmart somewhere on the way. So I'm going to click Super Walmart. And I'm going to open up the points of interest there. All right, let's close that down. Now, so our starting location is here. If I scroll out, now you can see we have an outline that is an approximate 6 hours worth of driving at an average of 55 miles an hour. Let's zoom in a little closer so we can actually start getting the Walmarts to show up. So I'll go out here towards the edge. We're going to head up this direction towards St. Louis. And we'll try to pick something. So that's a Super Walmart. When you hover over it, you can see that it's 271 miles away from our starting location. Let's look at this one, 317. That one's 243. So let's look at this Walmart right here. So you can go to more details. It's going to pull up this page with the address, the telephone number, and whether or not this Walmart allows overnight parking. Now, we found it to be very accurate. There may be, when you get to these Walmarts, there may be signs that say no overnight parking or no truck parking. Always go inside and talk to the manager, because 99% of the time that's going to mean no truck parking. As long as you're in an RV, they don't have a problem with it. Okay, so and some of these, when you pull them up, it won't have this overnight parking here, and we don't even really try to consider those because we don't want to have any problems. So let's go back right quick. Another feature. So we're going to choose this one. I'm going to zoom in on that actually a little bit if I can. I like to, using this feature, I like to kind of zoom in on what I'm looking at. And RV Trip Wizard had recently had an update that came out. If you go down right here, you'll notice that in the bottom right corner, that's a street view. If you drag that over that Walmart, you're going to get really close, and it's going to open up the street view for you, so you can kind of look at the area and see what's going on, where it's at, what kind of area it's in, and get a decent idea. We're going to be, and we were close, so let's move on down the highway here. There's the Walmart sign, and I can see that there's all kinds of stuff in here. That it's a large Walmart, and you can look through the parking lot. Basically, sometimes it's hard to get an elevation idea, but as far as is there any slope to the parking lot, it's kind of hard to see that sometimes on the street view stuff. But I can tell this is a large parking lot. There's an RV over there. This would be a great spot to pull in for the night over here. So that would look like okay, I'm going to say that looks like a good option. I'm going to click that stop right there. We'll go back to more details, and we're going to spend one night here. So I'm going to go over to night. I'm going to click 0. It's not going to cost us anything. And I'm going to add that after our last stop, which is our starting point. We're going to add that to the trip. All right. So if I zoom back out now, it's automatically going to have that. I've got directions now. So now I can see that I have directions here to here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up this trip over here, and you see I have a starting location and a Super Walmart. We're going to spend one night there in Paducah, Kentucky. The Super Walmart, 271 miles, 4 hours and 55 minutes. Estimated $100. Let's look at that. So I'm going to have my meals total. I set that in my trip settings, so that is going to pop in there for every single day automatically. If you want that to be 0, put it as 0 in your trip settings. My fuel cost for the mileage is $64.75. Total cost is going to be $99.75. Average fuel cost per gallon I put in was $2.87. We started full. We used 22.56 gallons. This is how much we're going to have upon arrival. So we're going to go to the Walmart gas station, add what we used, which is 22.56, and that fills us back up. So then I'm going to save that. All right. Here we go. So now we're going to click right here, and that's going to center us on the Walmart. Zoom back out. Now the center of our 6-hour drive area is that Walmart. All right, so we're going to shut down showing the Walmarts. Now we're going to go here in our parks. I'm going to show the filters. I want to go down here and set up Passport America and Good Sam Parks. and apply the filters up there. Research, and then I'm going to start zooming in so I can see where my parks are at and show the parks. All right, so zoomed in a little too far there. We can see where we're at. We can see what kind of parks we have. So let's keep going this way. We're going to get, this time we're going to get way over here. This looks like, so we're going to look at this Passport America Park, or this Good Sam Park. Okay. It's got 218 reviews, pretty good. 294 miles. We're going to click on the more details. It's going to pull up pictures of the park. Can scroll through those. Looks actually pretty nice. It's going to tell us how many miles this leg, 294. All right, well, it looks like a nice park. We can look at reviews if we want to. And this is going to pull up reviews of the park. You can also get a judge on, is it going to, how much it's going to cost by, this is the average rate. This is not the rating of the park. This is the cost rate. I can scroll through the reviews. 218 reviews, 7.7 rating, and you can scroll through and look at the reviews. You can look at the replies from the RV park. Click that off. You can go to their website. You have their telephone number there. Features of the RV park tells you whether they have, what kind of sites they have, whether they have full hookup. And if you go to the tips in the Q&A, kind of gives you an idea if other people in this community will leave in the RV Trip Wizard and in the review community, leave comments about what's where. There's a Walmart close by. There's good services as far as vehicle services. This one says that there was a fun tour, Clydesdale tour at the Budweiser Clydesdale farm was nearby. So that was good. All right, cool. We like that. So if you go over here, where we're going to we'll say we stay here 2 nights. And we call them and talk to them, and it's going to be $45 a night. So we're going to pay $90, and we're going to add it after the last stop. If for some reason you wanted to change the order of the stops, you can select where you want to add it. But we're going to add it after that Super Walmart. And click Add to Trip. And it'll do its thing. And now, if you go over here to the trip, Cottonwoods RV Park is in the mix here. So it's the next stop. It shows us arriving there on the 24th because we stayed 1 night at the Super Walmart, and we're going to be here for 2 nights. It was 293 miles to get here, 5 hours and 19 minutes. With fuel, food for both days, and lodging, it's going to cost us $230 for this leg of the trip. Go down here. The total for this much of the trip is going to be 564 miles, 3 nights, and $330. If we need to edit anything in here, go in there. See, camping total's 90. Our meals total 70. Fuel costs us 70. That gives us a total of 2 nights there, which you can change. We used 24.42 gallons. So I always like to fill that up so I don't get the fuel warning on the screen there. You can type in a reservation information once you make your reservation. If you have a reservation number, if they require anything special for your reservation. When you get the entire trip planned, you can print the whole itinerary out, or if you remember back at the beginning, you had the option to have emails sent. So let's save that. All right, so that's saved there. Now, Same thing again. So we're going to zoom her out. And now we have a new circle. With all these parks. We can zoom in and find what we want. Go over here. Sundowner West Camper and Recreational is permanently closed. Okay, we don't want that. Say we were going to choose this place. I'm not going to go through and look at it, but we're going to add it. We're going to stay one night there, and it's going to cost us $40. And we'll add it after the last stop. You just get your running total over here. So we have now, this is the total mileage, this is the nights, this is the cost. And you can customize the cost any way you want them. It is really a very useful tool. Over here on the research side, just wanted to show you real quick. The filter groups, park types. You can choose state parks, national parks, forest park, commercial and private, if that's all you want to see. You park ratings. You can choose your overall ratings, features, if you want to make sure that you have, full hookups, or a dump station, pull-through sites, if they're big rig friendly. Hookups and connectivity is right there for full hookup, 50 amp, all that kind of good stuff. What kind of amenities do they have? Even right now, they have a COVID open, which is a good choice. Price, here's the average price if you only want to see the cheapest of the cheap or the most expensive. And what kind of recreation stuff do they have? Trails, pool, playground. You can customize all that stuff, apply those filters, and then only those parks will show up on your screen. And it is a super powerful tool. You can pull up the satellite. There is a terrain map that kind of gives you an elevation, or I don't know, a dark map, and just the normal map. So if, let's see, you can show your entire trip. And basically, I think what that does is going to pull everything out and gives us the overview of what we have on the trip. If I'm not happy with the way that it has routed this, I can click drag route. Go over here. It'll let me grab a hold of this, and I can move it where I want it. Say there's something I want to see. I want to go right down here, and I want to see something that's right here at this point. Boom. So I can drag the directions, basically the route over there, and then go back up here, click drag route to turn that off. That's really kind of it in a nutshell. There are a lot more features in here that you can look at, but it is a very detailed planner with so many parks and so many resources. And you can really check your cost over here. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this short little review of RV Trip Wizard. We love it. Do that 7-day trial. If you got good information out of this, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thank you very much for watching. And remember to make every moment count, because those moments pass very quickly.